Good evening, folks. Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in and all of that. And obviously, I'm happy you're back in and you're well and safe and whatever, however you're watching this. But I've got in. Obviously, when you get in, you've had a chance to shower, obviously get something to eat. You don't want to look at Sky Sports and all of these other football channels and websites and things to see what they're saying. And I've come across Paul Merson's comments now. I've read them, I've skimmed through them, but we might as well go through them again. You know, Paul Merson being an Arsenal player, former Arsenal player, he's very passionate about the club and he doesn't mix his words. 1 second, people, because the Mac I'm about to read it from says low battery. So yeah, before it dies, put this in, man. So yeah, let's crack on. Paul Merson says Arsenal will be on the end of a thrashing soon. Come on, Paul, man. I understand you're passionate about the club and you love us, but there's no need to be negative, is there? Come on, man. Come on. Okay. So obviously, I'm not going to read it all, but we know we've won nine games on the trot now, 5-1 against Fulham. So yeah, we're level on points with Spurs, just 2 behind Liverpool, Chelsea and City. But for some context, we're scoring goals and we're doing our thing. But I think we've conceded around 10 goals already this season. We know we've... Obviously, at the time period, Emery just took the job, so it's not his fault and it's not the players' fault. The season started and we had a difficult test in playing Liverpool. We didn't play Liverpool, I'm lying. In playing, obviously, City and Chelsea. But if we're going to be harsh and say what's been wrong with the club, then they're the games you need to turn up on. And the return legs of them games at the Emirates, and obviously they came to our place, innit? So we've got to go to the Etihad, which we lost again last season. We've got to do better than that. But excluding that, there's not been many things to say. Yes, we haven't been amazing. It hasn't been Barcelona under Pep Guardiola with all of these scorelines are kind of mad, and it's nice that players are playing well, but we aren't walking away from the matches with 100% clarity. We're not saying that. What most fans like myself, I can't speak for everyone, I can only speak for myself and those that agree with me, is that first and foremost, you're happy that Arsenal is winning, like every other fan would love to. Secondly, when we're in the papers, it's for positive things. Now, obviously, you see a couple nonsense, but it's for Lacazette and Aubameyang's partnership, Guendouzi, Torreira, how he shapes up and stuff, the feel-good factor, what Unai Emery is introducing to the side, is doing this and the other. Positive headlines versus what's been there for the last couple of years. Not only that, yes, I've just said that these results haven't been perfect, but we needed to win games. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, to a degree that these Arsenal players are. And I feel sorry for them because we're not saying they're 100% there and they know themselves, but many a times we could have lost many games. Not to exaggerate, there's many games where at half-time there's still problems because we're still going into games at half-time not seeing it out. But at half-time it could go either way. And last season we walked away with a couple of defeats. We're grinding out results. When it's other teams, that's all you hear. The mark of a good team is grinding out results. We're still early in the season. Like, August was the other day. These players, generally speaking, are not fully sharp. I choose my words rightly because I've previously said I think pre-season and them things is more tactical than it is getting fitness wise, so I don't feel the players are as unfit as they would have been 10 years or so ago. But you get the point. We're not saying Arsenal's going to win the league. We're not saying this and that. There's many a test. Like I've said in many a review, we're in October. Like, the league finishes in May. If we was doing this towards mid-May, well, we can't be any more than mid-May, April, sorry, to the end of May, we'd be laughing because that would be great. Then you could see some case for the madness. But most normal fans, we're not writing mad headlines and we're going to do this, we're going to batter this, we're going to score this. We're just, one, happy to see the players are fighting. Two, a manager, no disrespect to Wenger, you guys know I'm a big fan, but a manager that's not emotionally tied to these players. I mean, of course he's got favourites, but he's taking man off, he's doing a couple other things, whether we like it or not, in different games, mixing things up. People, whether they're playing for the manager, their future, for themselves, or complacency's been kicked out the window of a new manager, people are playing to a decent standard. Nobody's playing perfect in this side. If I, off the top of my head, players that I could say, even so, I don't even believe it, but if I could only say, there's only about 4 players, maybe even 5, that I could say, so far this season, I can't really say anything about you. And that's probably, Iwobi's turned it on in the last couple of weeks, and obviously he played well when he played against Chelsea when the season started. Torreira's obviously a shoe-in. Aubameyang and Lacazette have taken a while to start scoring if we're harsh, but they're doing their thing. I think you got to hail up Socrates as well, to be fair. And that's probably about it. Obviously, there might be some other ones, but generally speaking, that's about 5. So nobody, and they're not even playing well. Probably Gaswell's as well. So around 5, 6. But nobody's saying we're going to do a madness. We've got many a test. Me as an Arsenal fan, every season I look at certain games. forgive me if I'm wrong. Have we Watford came to our place, innit? So we've still got to go to Hawthorns, a ground we lost at. Brighton doesn't scare me. No disrespect to Brighton fans, but that's a game. That's on a ground we lost at. Where else? St Mary's, we dropped points. Bournemouth, we dropped points, and they're kind of our bogey side. Remember the 3-3. Palace, we won last week. Yeah, fair enough, convincingly. One of the only away wins we won convincingly. But previously, when we walk away with 3 points at Palace, it's a tricky one. Obviously, you got the Anfields, you got Old Trafford, you got the Etihad, you got, well, to be fair, we know Wembley more than the Spurs lads now. Spurs fans, I've got to do it to you. But yeah, the Wembleys and all of them things there, we've got to go to them grounds. So they're the games I'm looking at. I'm obviously looking at the top 6. I'm looking for games where we've answered the question so far, where games are not going our way and we're getting a bit of luck and we're playing well and we're turning it on. Obviously, there's more tests. I want to see when the fixtures are piling up, but there's still a bunch of fixtures to pile up. There's still a fixture pile up awaiting us. So we're not saying that madness. So for you to say sooner or later they'll be on the end of a big score defensively, they're all over the place, is quite harsh. For what it's worth, I won't lie to you, I don't necessarily disagree with that statement there. We could be on the end of a mad scoreline, because you look at Cat Yarrabag, you look at a couple games where they could have scored more, so I'm not necessarily disagreeing, but by the same logic, we're showing a different fight. You're seeing a slight improvement defensively. It's too early to ever know if these changes or whatever we've been implementing are going to be long lasting, if they've truly improved and stuff. We need to probably sit down in January or something, and halfway through the season or so, and conclude where we are. Obviously, you've gone and said the thing that gets them out of trouble is they're always going to score goals, but defensively they're just not good enough. That's fair enough. I mean, even if I look at the Chelsea game, it was a while ago, but if I remember, we probably respected them too much, but they looked a bit shaking defensively as well in that game. But we obviously walked away with nothing. But it's not exactly fair what you're saying. What you're exactly saying here, and you've also attacked the fans. Now, obviously, that's off the back of, we know with social media and with Wenger previously at the club and all of these things, we know why this has been, in regards to Arsenal fans, certainly a big thing. But I've not understood Arsenal fans for the last 3-4 years. Arsenal are an unbelievable football club. They've always had a certain class about them. Incredible. The Marvel everywhere at Highbury, there was a certain standard about the football club. The fans were always switched on to everything, but in the last few years they've disappointed me. Maybe that's just where football is. Every club that has now won a trophy believes they have the right to win. They have the right to win all the time. I don't believe that's the case. I'm pretty sure no Arsenal fans I speak to and can vouch for, no one feels entitled. No one feels you have a divine right to win any trophies. I certainly don't. But what I've wanted for many years, and hopefully it happens this year, obviously the immediate target is top 4, is just to go into the season knowing that my players are going to give 110, and you can take it from there. If you give 110, you put a winning run together. I just would like to be in the fight. I know City, out of 10 games, they'll smoke us. Liverpool are looking gazy. They make you other examples, but I'd like to be in and amongst the pack in August and sit down as a fan and say, boom, my team can say something in regards to the league, or they can fight, or they can show something else. We don't have a divine right. We definitely don't think we can win all the time. Most older Arsenal fans know that more than not. Arsenal fans around my age, we were spoiled in our early years in that we come up and there's Henry and stuff. And there's sadly fans that haven't experienced winning the Premier League that support Arsenal. Like, I went through secondary school. I've got a young face now, but I had a younger face then. I had K-Rolls. I saw no major title. In fact, I held an L when we lost to Birmingham in the final. The carrot is when we was previously told under certain departing CEOs or outbound CEOs is that Bayern Munich level, this and that. Obviously, when you say certain words and attach certain clubs in the same sentence as us, people's imagination is going to get aroused. And that's where we were swindled. So a lot of that has been the frustration of them comments and seeing other clubs make progress and us go backwards, and all the other micro problems that have been long standing at Arsenal for why we haven't competed on a football pitch, to put it brutally honest. So yeah, most fans just wanted to see us pattern up, and we're seeing a bit of that. Most fans like myself aren't drawing too many conclusions, but it's just nice to, well, it's actually nice to be able to watch a match of the day. Like, normally when we lose, I can't lie to you, I don't watch it, I record it and then I just skip through. I love Alan Shearer, but I have to mute everybody when we lose, because it's like there's a serious agenda with them, and not Alan Shearer but the whole organisation. When Arsenal loses, they probably see guys like me's tweets and that. But yeah, man, Merson, allow it, man. Anyways, guys, DG, I'm out, man. Yeah.